Come take a look through the orange lens, my friends. How you doing, folks? Use the force. Positive mental attitude. But balance, right? It's not fake it till we make it. It's grow until we flow. And that's the way we do, right? So, man, I've been introduced in the last month, really, to the world of Twitter, which is bonkers, and the world of TikTok, which is very interesting. Lots and lots of funny stuff. Like I'll only allow myself to scroll for a couple of minutes, right? Max, regardless, whatever, right? With occasion, right? With occasion, but as a general, I don't like to scroll for more than a couple of few minutes, right? Because, you know, I used to lose fucking hours scrolling, and that shit ain't any good for us, and it loses productivity, right? So you have to structure, because it helps. It certainly helps me. It helps me if I put some structures, if I put some things there. Anyway, so, like, TikToks seems hilarious. Loads of comedy stuff on there. I'm laughing my arse off. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, no wonder people get so stuck in this. It's dopamine from the get-go. I reference my new song, so jump down into the descriptions. Down there is a Guywithafork Soundcloud page. You can hit that. You can stream the music. You can go to the YouTube playlist, Guywithafork Music, and you can play it there. You can like it, you can share it, you can subscribe, you can where's somewhere about there, I think. Just tap that like button while you're down there, please. Thank you. So, but what I think is, like, I mean, Twitter is a firestorm, you know. Like I continually and will always work on myself, you know, my ego, my perceptions, my feelings, my thoughts, how I think, and what I think, right? And, you know, wow, there's just a lot of negativity, particularly on Twitter. I'm not surprised so many people get banned off of that platform. People are harsh. Like, shit. You know, and there's, in a time that is so divisive, right? We know divide and conquer is a tool. Yet it seems to be one of the hardest ones to get out of, right? Like, I see many people that are aware on one level or another. And, you know, and they're suggesting that you can't help anyone, leave them to it, you know, leave the sheep to it, blah, blah, blah. All these types of, you know, really unhealthy teachings being pumped out by, you know, I don't know if you want to call them influencers, by, you know, public figures, by, you know, celebrity of some kind, by, you know, rappers, you know, deep thinkers, all sorts. And I see this thread of separation come through it, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. To me, it's like half the things some people say to me then lead you to the realization that we are being divided, and even that basic thing of showing compassion to someone else who's not in the same situation as you, for whatever means that may be and whatever the situation is, hypothetically speaking, is showing compassion to them people, to that person. And, you know, I think people are losing the art of showing compassion in replacement for the art of intelligence. Like, you know, and we're only talking about mental intelligence here. We're only talking about intelligence of the mind, obviously, right? It's not like emotional intelligence, right? Like, it's not where you've studied, you've learned, you've you know, I don't like the word control so much. It's more guidance, I feel, with emotions and thoughts. Like, I prefer the terminology guidance. You guide your emotions, because once you study things, you know, some things, like you can get an emotional response that's actually more of a warning, as opposed to like a trigger to like a autopilot that like doesn't like something, you know. But I just think more compassion is needed, people. Like, we're facing a time where we're so divided anyway. Right, when this hit us, it's not like we were a united people, right? People were arguing over left and right politics. People were arguing over football teams. People are arguing over fucking car parking spaces out the front of their house and their neighbour's hedge. You're not, like... So how do we break that cycle, right? Because I'm engaging these conversations and I'm permanently having to check myself to make sure that I'm wording myself right. So I'm trying to bring something to the conversation. So I don't just put the person down because I feel a different way, even if it's a subtle put down, right? It's not like, oh, I can't believe you haven't seen that this, that or the other. Seems pretty innocent, but really, oh, I can't believe you haven't seen is a massive put down. It's like, my God, look at you down there, right? So, you know, when I'm typing, I don't let myself just, right? Unconscious ranting, where you just end up insulting people and creating no real sort of outcome from it, right? It just restamps and reinforces that divide and conquer, right? And we've got an inept system. I'd say we had an inept government, but the reality is they're doing exactly what they should do. They're doing as they're told, they're obeying their masters, and they're fucking us over. And it's not like like that can be taken to some severe levels. In some way it really can go there. But the level of unhealthy life that is coming out of this society is unacceptable, right? Like the control over the monetary system, the breakdown of it, what they're going to then try and do with that, coupled with the fucking nigh on civil wars they are trying to instigate all over the world. Like, these people that are pushing this corona thing past the level that it really sits at, they're doing it globally, and they must realise that their action... The way I see it is like this. They either think one of, like, a couple of things, you know, my limited perception of how things really are, right? But the way I'm seeing things is, like, either they believe so strongly that their manipulation has worked on us, and there's going to be a few disobedience... Words not coming out. Rebels, and but then the most of the population will just be subdued and obey, or they want a civil war globally, so they really create a divide between the state and those that obey and vote and believe in democracy, which is totally corrupt. And if you haven't realised that already, just do a bit of research, you'll find it. And be open, because you can do all the research in the world, but if you're not open, you're not going to see anything. You know, it just seems like they're trying to force a civil war with all these actions, and it's just like, no, we've got to resist that. We've got to be calm. We've got to be mindful. We've got to be we've got to be unified. We've got to be able to talk to each other without needing to be each other's leader, without needing to be right. Yeah, because if we just keep looking for leaders, what the fuck are we going to achieve? What, more power-hungry people that take control over all of our infrastructures and dominate us with it for their own means? Absolute power corrupts absolutely, and absolute powerlessness does the same. Big up, Akala. Right? Real talk. That's where we're at. So we have to empower ourselves and those around us. I feel quite strongly about this. It's been niggling at me. Like, I just keep seeing it, these people, and it's just like if you take a moment and you stop and you breathe and you analyse why and how you're saying it, and are you actually being a part of the thing you're talking about, there's quite a lot of people that are going to realise, oh shit, like, even whether it's I do that thing, my mate does that, annoys me, or whether it's I'm fucking ploughing into the divide and conquer mindset and perpetuating it by doing what I'm doing, complaining about other people, suggesting that we don't help anyone else, that we just help ourselves. Like, we haven't been taught that already. Did it work? No. We got to help ourselves. We got to do the hard work. Like, for quite a few years, I stayed patient with a few of my friends, and eventually I had to take a break because I was learning to process everything, and I couldn't be around people that weren't open-minded. It was like, literally, I wasn't strong enough at the time. Now it's a different matter. I've taken more time to build, more time to be compassionate to myself first and to other people. But I never I never diminished my friends because they wouldn't look. I'd just be honest with them and say it's disappointing. I don't even know if I use the word disappointing, but I was disappointed, and I'm always honest, so I'm pretty sure I would have been honest. But at the same time, I would always say, I respect your right to do what you want to do and be who you want to be. Because that's what I do. That's what I say to people. I don't tell people they need to do this, that or the other. I encourage people to be themselves, even if that means that you're going to have an opposing view to me. Sweet. All the better for the conversation, right? You know, whether we agree or disagree, we can find a lot of conversations. But I truly believe that where we see division, we need to create unity. Because how the fuck are we going to create anything of any worth anyway? So there's things we need to get over, and I'm convinced that mindful awareness is like a key tool to helping each and every single one of us, no matter how fucking clever, emotionally intelligent, aware we think we are. We can always learn more, grow more, and impact more in a better way, right? So no, don't give up on people that are around you. If you need a bit of space, take it. Be honest enough to tell them why. They might not like it. My best mate, brother from another mother, couldn't stand it. He was insulted. He took it personally. I can't help that. I had to fucking save myself. I was losing my shit, and I needed time to myself so that I could compose myself, so I could research more, so I could not research, right? So I could just live. Right, but you know, part of me living nowadays is I'm interested in information, and I enjoy gaining it now. I just like gaining information. It helps with your perspective, with your worldly perspective, you know. Looking at cultures all around the world from different times and different ages is fucking, it's growth. You know, it's not just knowing what the bankers were doing over the last few hundred years. It's knowing what were the Olmecs up to. Right? Did the Mayans really build all these structures, or shit, did they adopt them and build on top of them? You know? I love ancient history. So there's much we can do about a lot, and doing little about not much is not much point, is there? So we might as well dig into ourselves. Go, how can I be better for me and therefore better for others? How can I show more compassion to other people that don't agree with me? I went and met up with my mate Rob, and we went to an outdoor cafe, and on his approach to it, he pulled out his mask and told me why he was going to conform. I didn't have a go at him. He knows how I feel. He knows I therefore think he's conforming and a part of the problem. And I then proceeded to say it aloud enough volume for everyone to hear my views on it. But respect is what respect is, and we're up on that time. Use your force, positive mental attitude, be calm your thoughts to yourselves like you would for others. Keep loving your hearts for yourself like you would for others, and let's get it. Get what, John? Awareness, course. Peace in.